What if the one thing standing between you and what you want is actually not fear? What if instead it is actually just wanting it? Because when you want something, it implies in an energetic signature that you lack it. It implies that you don't have it. I learned this belief growing up that the only thing standing between you and what you want is fear. The more I heal and the more I take my externalized sense of self worth that I have tied to so many things out there and bring it back to myself and internalize it and make it intrinsic, the more I realize that probably the reason that people are afraid to pursue things is because they're afraid of failure, because their sense of self worth has become so externalized, it has become so extrinsic, right? That when failure means that, or when trying and then failing, right? It's like, well, of course, the fear is going to be in place because you have tied your sense of self worth to the external, right? But these are all just beliefs. One of the coolest things about healing is the process of unlearning things that you previously thought were true, right? So, what if what if what's between you and what you want is actually not fear? What if? What if what is between you and what you want is actually just the desire? Right? Because like the more I transform my reality with being as though I already have it, and when I say that, I mean feeling the feelings as if what it is that I've desired is already real and already here. That's transforming my reality, right? I feel on a daily basis as though that which I've desired is already here, and that is transforming my reality faster than anything else I've done in my life, right? Now, if you believe that the only thing between you and what you want is fear, that creates a specific reality, right? And not only that, but it's likely that you fear it because you fear failure, probably because your sense of self worth has become externalized throughout your entire life based on what you've believed about where your sense of self worth should be derived from. Yes, you should tie it to the external world. No. I mean, you can do whatever you want to, but that's not sustainable. That leads to a life of a roller coaster of emotional ups and downs, right? Yeah, again, you can do that. You can do whatever you want to, but that's the way that extrinsic self worth works. But again, what if it's not actually fear that's standing between you and what you want? What if it's actually just wanting it? What if it's actually just desiring it? I want it, I want it, I want it. Well, reality sees that and says to you, responds to you, oh, so I guess you don't have it. Oh, so I guess you don't have it. Oh, so I guess you don't have it. I want, I want, I want. You don't have, you don't have, you don't have. What if you were instead to say, or I should say, what if instead your energetic signature was communicating, I have it, I have it, I have it. Yeah. I mean, you can try as hard as you can to like go out there and do things to try to get it, which is also implying that you don't have it. Or you could feel as though you already have it. Feelings probably being the most powerful form of attraction, right? Lack is a very real emotional experience and it attracts more of itself. Having is a very profound emotional experience and it quite literally collapses time and space and draws to you the experiences, right? So I essentially just kind of like, you know, took out two birds with one stone on that one. It's like, all right, well, maybe you believe that what is standing between you and what you want is fear. And if that's the case, it's likely, again, that your sense of self worth has been tied to the external, which it's not good or bad. It's just not really productive, honestly, because it's unpredictable. It's not sustainable. It's up and down. It's just not fun. It really isn't. Um, if you fear anything, it's likely because your sense of self worth is attached to the external. And the second you get it, you're worthy. The second you don't have it, you're worthless, right? So that's not really productive. Um, if you fear doing anything in life, it's likely because you're afraid of failure. You're afraid of how it'll make you look. But if you don't attach your sense of self worth to the external and you're not doing anything to get anything, right? Oftentimes we do. If you attach your sense of self worth to the external, you're likely to do things to get things. You're likely to do things to get worth. Make sense? Right? So, like, yeah, you're going to be afraid because you're probably going to be afraid of failure, because you're probably going to be afraid that if you don't get it, it will mean that you're not worthy. It will mean instead that you're worthless. So that's why you attach to the external, right? So you can live your entire life believing that the only thing that stands between you and what you want is fear. And that is because you're afraid of failure. That is because you're afraid that if you do it, if you do actually try and you do fail, you're going to be worthless. Just the belief doesn't make it true. It's just a belief, right? Um, but, I was really sitting with it the other day and I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, wait a second. Is the only thing that stands between me and what I want fear? Or is it actually just that it's just wanting it that is what stands between me and what I want? Because it would actually make sense on an energetic basis that the only thing that stands between me or between anybody and what they want is wanting it, right? Me wanting it, not there, right? Think about it, right? Right? Let's do it this way. This is me. Me wanting it. The energetic signature of wanting is lacking. It's not there. Right? Right. Me, on the other hand, me having it. Oh, hey, it's there. So the only thing really standing between me and what I want is wanting it, because wanting it implies that it is not there. Wanting it implies lack. There's nothing here because I want it, because I believe that the only thing standing between me and what I want is wanting it. And because I want it, I don't have to want to be a full time YouTuber anymore. I am being it. I have it. Therefore, it is there. I don't have to want, sorry, I don't have to be somebody who wants a camera, a professional camera anymore that can take videos and photos at really high quality, because it's there. I have it. I could be somebody who wants, I hope you like my groovy finger movements, by the way. I could be somebody that wants something, and therefore wanting that something makes wanting that something not be there. I hope it's understood what this all means, because it's really important to understand. Reality responds to energy. It does not care about what you want. It cares about who you are being. That's the difference here. That's the difference in transformation, right? Um, a lot of things in my life have changed in a very rapid duration of time, in very recent time, because my energy has changed. Um, and it's wild. Reality responds to who you are being. It does not give a shit about what it is that you want. You can want to start doing yoga, do it. It might be weird in the beginning because you're like, oh God, my body's so, it's so tight. Yeah, yeah, of course. Doing it for the first time, your body's gonna be tight, right? But then you get used to it over. I actually just started doing yoga again after taking about, I'd say, 2 or 3 weeks off. I traveled, and I just decided not to bring my yoga mat, my yoga mat with me. When I got back into it, my body was so tight. It really was. Um, but just to recap, just to finish off here, um, I don't really believe anymore. Well, unless you have your sense of self worth externalized, which I think a majority of the population does have it that way. Um, if you believe that the only thing standing between you and what you want is fear, it's likely because your sense of self worth has become externalized. You've tied it to things and people out there. You get it, yeah, you get it, you're worthy. You lose it, you're worthless, right? Oh, I have it. I'm not afraid anymore. Oh, I don't have it. I'm terrified. Not making fun of anybody. It's just the reality of the game of externalized extrinsic self worth. Um, I really do believe, though, that the only thing standing between you and what you want is actually wanting it again, because you wanting it applies not having it. Therefore, the wanting it is what stands between you and having it, right? You communicating the energetic signature of having it implies actually having it and drawing it to you. Funny how that works, huh?